The room was dark, save for the faint glow of the bedside lamp. Shadows danced on the walls, creating an eerie, almost melancholic atmosphere. She lay on her side, facing away from him, pretending to be asleep. Her breathing was steady, but her mind raced with thoughts she couldn't escape. He lay beside her, phone in hand, the blue light illuminating his face in the darkness. The glow from the screen cast a cold, distant light, highlighting the chasm between them. His thumbs danced across the screen, a small, knowing smile playing on his lips. It was a smile she hadn't seen directed at her in a long time. She kept her eyes closed, her heart heavy with a familiar ache. Memories of happier times flooded her mind, making the present moment even more painful. There was a time when they would have been whispering in the dark, sharing secrets and dreams. Their laughter would fill the room, a testament to their bond. Now, silence stretched between them, a gulf as wide as the ocean. The space between their bodies felt like an insurmountable barrier. He chuckled softly at something on the screen, and her stomach twisted. The sound, once a source of joy, now felt like a dagger to her heart. Who was he talking to? What secrets were they sharing in the dead of night? Questions swirled in her mind, each one more painful than the last. She longed to ask, to demand to see his phone, but something held her back. Fear, pride, or perhaps a deep-seated dread of the truth. Perhaps it was fear, the fear of confirming her suspicions, the fear that the man she once knew had become a stranger. Or maybe it was something deeper, a resignation to the fact that their relationship had become a pale imitation of its former self. The vibrant colors of their love had faded to a dull gray. Whatever the reason, she remained silent, her eyes squeezed shut, willing herself not to cry. Tears would only make the distance between them more real. The silence in the room was deafening, punctuated only by the soft tap-tap-tap of his thumbs on the screen. Each tap was a reminder of the conversations she was no longer a part of. It was a sound that had become all too familiar, a constant reminder of the distance that had grown between them, a distance that seemed to widen with every passing night. They were physically close, their bodies barely a breath apart, yet emotionally they were miles away, lost in their own separate worlds that no longer intersected. The phone, once a tool for connection, had become a symbol of their disconnection, a barrier that separated them more effectively than any wall. It was a silent witness to their unraveling. He shifted beside her, putting the phone down on the nightstand with a soft thud. The sound echoed in the quiet room, a small but significant gesture. She breathed a sigh of relief, pretending to stir in her sleep. The tension in her body eased slightly, but the ache in her heart remained. He reached out, his hand brushing against her arm as he turned to face her. The touch was light, almost hesitant, as if he too was unsure of their connection. She kept her eyes closed, her body tense, dreading the possibility of a goodnight kiss that would feel empty and forced. A kiss that would only highlight the void between them. But the kiss never came. Instead, he pulled back, the space between them growing once more. Instead, she felt his warmth beside her, heard the soft rhythm of his breathing as he drifted off to sleep. The sound was both comforting and heartbreaking, and in the darkness, she lay awake, her heart aching with a loneliness that cut deeper than any knife. A loneliness that was now her constant companion. She sat across from him at the breakfast table, the morning sunlight streaming through the kitchen window. The warmth of the sun contrasted sharply with the coldness she felt inside. He was scrolling through his phone, a small smile playing on his lips. It was a smile that seemed to light up his face, a smile that once made her heart flutter. It was a smile she used to know well, a smile that had once been reserved for her. Now, it felt like a distant memory, a relic of a happier time. Now it seemed to be directed at someone else, someone he found endlessly fascinating on that small glowing screen, the screen that had become a barrier between them. A knot of unease tightened in her stomach. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. It wasn't the first time she had caught him like this, lost in his phone, oblivious to her presence. Each time it chipped away at her confidence, her trust. At first, she had brushed it off as nothing, a harmless distraction in the age of technology. Everyone was glued to their devices these days, right? But as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, a seed of doubt began to take root in her mind. It grew slowly, fed by every moment of his inattention. His phone had become his constant companion, a fixture in their lives that seemed to take precedence over everything else. It was as if the device had a life of its own, demanding his attention. He took it everywhere with him, to the bathroom, to the grocery store, even to bed. It was always there, a silent third party in their relationship. He checked it constantly, his eyes glued to the screen, his fingers flying across the keyboard. It was as if he was in another world, a world she couldn't access. And with each passing day, the distance between them seemed to grow wider. The emotional chasm that had opened up was becoming harder to bridge. He looked up from his phone, catching her gaze, and the smile vanished from his face. For a moment, their eyes locked, and she saw a flicker of something. Guilt, perhaps? What? He asked, his tone defensive. The word hung in the air, heavy with unspoken accusations. Nothing, she replied, forcing a smile, just admiring the view. Her voice sounded hollow, even to her own ears. He grunted, his eyes returning to his phone. The moment of connection was gone, replaced by the cold glow of the screen. She looked away, her heart sinking. The weight of her suspicions was becoming unbearable. The seed of doubt had blossomed into a full-blown monster, its tendrils wrapping around her heart, squeezing the joy out of her. She wondered if things would ever go back to the way they were.